Is this merely a fashion campaign, or is it an unmistakable academic signal that the global map of pop culture power is shifting permanently, and that Jungkook's name now stands on the threshold of the world's most exclusive list? Global Icon 2026. That question may sound dramatic, even overly bold. But when a spring campaign from a legendary fashion house like Calvin Klein suddenly features a cameo by an Oscar and Emmy nominee and legendary dancer choreographer like Rosie Perez, and when the face of that campaign is Jungkook of BTS, the public is no longer just talking about clothing. The public is talking about symbolism, about legitimacy, about status. The information first shook timelines after the international men's lifestyle magazine Esquire shared details of the campaign. It didn't take long before the fanbase account Jungkook Crave on X amplified it with a caption that made millions pause. Jungkook for Calvin Klein's Spring 2026 campaign features a special cameo by Rosie Perez, an Oscar and Emmy nominee and legendary dancer choreographer. She has worked with icons like Janet Jackson, Diana Ross, and LL Cool J, making this campaign even more iconic. One sentence. Yet its implications seem to extend far beyond a simple fashion promotion. Why Rosie Perez? Why now? And why alongside Jungkook? Rosie Perez is not merely a senior actress. She is an American cultural figure who has worked with names such as Janet Jackson, Diana Ross, and LL Cool J. In the history of the entertainment industry, collaborating with Perez places someone within the orbit of authentic and influential American pop culture legacy. She represents a bridge between the classic MTV generation and the modern entertainment landscape. When the camera captured Jungkook standing by the sea, wind brushing through his hair, dressed in oversized denim that appeared effortless yet meticulously styled, and when in another scene, he posed atop stacks of vinyl records as if symbolically connecting to the analog history of music, the public began to ask, is this visual storytelling intentional? Is this a statement that Jungkook is no longer simply a K-pop idol, but part of the global cultural archive? ARMY, of course, erupted with excitement. Yet what stood out was not just ordinary praise. Many international fashion and pop culture observers noted something deeper. The production felt cinematic, layered, and rich with historical references. There was a visual language that seemed to declare, this is not a random collaboration, this is positioning. The chemistry between Jungkook and Rosie Perez became its own conversation. In behind-the-scenes clips circulating online, Perez could be seen smiling proudly, occasionally offering warm yet firm direction. Jungkook, with a calm yet intense aura, appeared to absorb the energy of the room. Two generations, two cultural backgrounds, two distinct eras united in a single frame. Is this coincidence? Or a carefully calculated strategy? In global branding studies, cross-generational and cross-cultural collaborations are often used to reinforce symbolic legitimacy. When an East Asian artist is placed alongside a long-recognized American cultural figure, it is no longer just about exposure. It becomes about recognition. And this is where speculation intensifies. Several entertainment industry analysts have begun whispering about the rumored Global Icon 2026 lists currently being prepared by various international institutions and media outlets. Jungkook's name, they suggest, is on the radar. Of course, there has been no official confirmation. But if we examine his trajectory, from record-breaking global streams and cross-genre collaborations to now a fashion campaign layered with historical narrative, the question grows increasingly relevant. Has Jungkook transcended the category of idol? Is he being positioned as a broader cultural figure? Interestingly, in a separate interview, V offered a comment that is now being reinterpreted as a subtle clue. He mentioned that Jungkook has always had a bigger vision than what people see on the surface, and that the coming years will surprise many. At the time, it sounded like simple praise between members. Now, within the context of the Calvin Klein campaign, it feels almost prophetic. Was V hinting at something? Or is the timing simply too perfect? It is undeniable that since debuting with BTS, Jungkook has demonstrated consistent evolution. From a shy magnate to a performer with commanding stage charisma. From main vocalist to global brand ambassador. Yet this spring 2026 campaign feels different. There is a sense of transition, as though the world is being introduced to a new chapter. The close-up shots of Jungkook, lit by natural light, his expression unforced and styling minimal, project a matured aesthetic confidence. There are no excessive gimmicks.
No empty sensationalism.
What remains is quiet assurance. And perhaps that is the greatest surprise, that a global icon is not defined merely by popularity. In many academic definitions, a global icon transcends geographic boundaries, influences trends across industries, and becomes a widely recognized cultural reference point. Has Jungkook reached that point? Streaming data and sales numbers might say yes. Social media influence is undeniable. But symbolic validation from the fashion industry and from a legendary figure like Rosie Perez adds a new dimension. ARMY welcomed the campaign with euphoria. Hashtags related to Jungkook and Calvin Klein dominated trending topics across multiple countries. Fashion media praised the brand's boldness in embracing global diversity. Even critics who once doubted K-pop's expansion into high fashion began acknowledging that Jungkook brings an authenticity that feels organic rather than manufactured. Yet beneath the spotlight and applause lies a quieter, deeper question. What does this mean for the internal dynamics of BTS? Will the strengthening of individual status alter the group's balance? Or will it reinforce the collective? So far, what is visible is support.
Who openly expressed pride.
Other members shared congratulations across platforms. There are no visible signs of tension. Yet in the world of pop culture, every major step is interpreted as a signal. What is certain is that this campaign has opened a new chapter of discussion about Asian representation on the global stage, about the increasing convergence between fashion and music industries, about how the new generation of icons is no longer confined to one country or one genre. And when we return to the initial question, is this merely a fashion campaign? The answer becomes increasingly complex. Perhaps this is the moment when the line between idol and icon truly dissolves. Perhaps history is being written quietly between folds of denim and flashes of camera light. Or perhaps, as often happens in Jungkook's journey, this is only the beginning of something far greater. Will Jungkook's name officially appear on a global icon 2026 list? There is no confirmation yet. But if cultural indicators, symbolic collaborations, and public momentum are any measure, the world may already be witnessing an inevitable transition. As conversations intensified across global media, one detail continued to echo louder than the others: placement. Jungkook was not positioned as a guest. He was not framed as a novelty collaboration. He was the axis of the campaign. Rosie Perez's cameo, powerful as it was, orbited around him. That distinction matters more than many initially realized in legacy fashion advertising, especially from a house as historically influential as Calvin Klein. Central placement signals long-term investment. It suggests alignment not just with the current trend, but with a future narrative. And when the future narrative involves a global figure whose roots trace back to South Korea's cultural renaissance, the implications stretch far beyond one season's denim collection. Industry analysts began dissecting the visual storytelling frame by frame. The ocean backdrop was interpreted by some as symbolic of transnational fluidity, no borders, no confinement. The vinyl stacks hinted at reverence for musical history, perhaps a quiet acknowledgement that Jungkook's artistry stands in conversation with global music lineage rather than apart from it. Even the minimalist styling was read as a declaration. This is confidence